Hello and welcome to the 30k channel, a channel dedicated to games set in the Horus Heresy. I'm your host, as ever, David Brains, and I have been joined by the famous Chris Gibson. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How are you?
Very, very good. Great to have Chris with us today.
Indeed, great to be here.
Good. And Chris has brought a friend, John.
Loosely.
It's been very lively this morning. The conversation between these two. They've been in the car for the last, hour and a half?
Something like that.
Yeah. Good friends by the sounds of it. There's a lot of banter going on. I think it's going to be quite good fun,
I think so, yeah.
Now we've got a really great list today. We have got Mechanicum, Legio Cybernetica, which is very close to my heart. I love Mechanicum. So thanks for bringing some more Mechanicum on the channel.
It has to be said, David, you were the inspiration for this. So.
Oh, God. I take no responsibility. And Chris has brought a really unique army. You've brought a Shattered Legions force.
Yes. So I've had Alpha Legion for many years.
Yeah.
Sort of on the back burner, retiring those now. Working on some Sons of Horus, but really want to just start getting the Sons of Horus on the table as well. So Shattered Legions is a nice dynamic way to get both rule sets mixed in there.
Yeah, and it's a really great way of getting into another Legion because, to collect a full 3k of Horus Heresy, you're probably looking at the best part of £1,000, 1,200 quid, depending on your list. And Shattered Legion's great because you kind of bleed into another one till you build up enough and then you can start doing some bigger games with it. So really great idea.
Thank you.
I plan on doing exactly the same thing with the Solar Auxiliary. I'm going to start bringing in some Solar, so Mechanicum allied with Solar, and there's a Solar build, and then it will go the other way, and then hopefully it'll be a full Solar force. So the great thing about Heresy is there is a storyline for pretty much any army you can think of.
Absolutely,
really.
yeah.
So it's a really great way. So really looking forward to seeing how the Shattered Legions interact with each other, the Alpha Legion and the Sons of Horus. We know how Legio Cybernetica works. It is a tough list.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of high toughness, lots of high AP, high strength weaponry, really resilient army. Hopefully it's going to be a really good, even match. Hopefully.
The thing I love about Cybernetica is that you can give plus to initiative, you can give extra attacks.
Yeah.
Really great with that Cyber 30. All you need is a leadership test of the Dominus that you're using it from, usually 9 or 10 depending on the Dominus, and you can get those bonuses and the increased range of Cybernetica.
It's a massive force multiplier. It really allows you to change the way units work, stretch out, more firepower, greater initiative, just really sort of change the way they work depending on how the battlefield's developing. It's a phenomenal force multiplier. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these gents have got a lot of troops and they will really help in today's mission. We're playing a Dominion mission, but in the rules it states you can choose alternative objectives. So instead of using standard 5, we've gone for 3 objectives.
Yeah.
And the great thing about this is we're doing the ambush. It's everyone's least favourite mission.
I love it.
Everyone hates ambush. And essentially the story we've got here is that the Mechanicum have got a compound with a very large turbo laser destructor.
Yes, which we're not allowed to use.
No. and the Sons of Horus and the Alpha Legion want it. So it's a Primus readout, and we're just saying that if John wishes, he can embark in that. It won't be a Primus for the sake of the game. It will just be a building that you can deploy into. Transport capacity of 20, and then directly behind it there's a warehouse that inevitably I imagine would feed munitions and various supply bits for the Primus, and that will also have a transport capacity of 20. So John will decide whether he wants to utilise that or not. But essentially, you'll be in the middle, I guess, won't you? Yeah.
So we're going to start in the middle and see if we can hold out. I think is the plan. We're gonna have targets coming at us from all directions. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful about how we deploy. Make sure we cover our arcs of fire and make sure we're ready.
Well, I think the Alpha Legion have passed on their deception to the Sons of Horus, haven't they?
Yeah. Alpha Legion been on site. They've been gathering intel, working out the weaknesses, and now they've called in the seek and destroy units of the Sons of Horus. And we're going to go for that bunker, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 3 objectives, which you'll see on the board a little bit later on, there's like a little servo hauler with a couple of crates behind it that's been buried into the sand of this world. So that's one of the objectives. The second objective is 3 inches from the centre of the Primus readout. And then the third objective is anywhere within 3 inches of the door of the warehouse. So that's what Chris will be going after and John will be defending. So we've changed it slightly differently, but everything else is pretty much the core mission as it is. Looking at the list, Chris, you've got quite a bit of firepower.
Quite a bit of firepower, quite a lot of infantry.
Mm.
We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of high toughness, high resilience in the Mechanicum there. So it's going to be a really interesting game. Really looking forward to seeing how it pans out.
Yeah, and you are running Shattered Legions, and there's a couple of little rules which kind of.
Yep.
Could you want to tell us about those?
Yeah, absolutely. So Shattered Legions, I can take any rite of war, so there's no restrictions on that. Each legion can take its own Legiones Astartes special rules.
Mm-hmm.
However, certain ones, such as the Martial Hubris and the Mutable Tactics for the Alpha Legion, I only get access to those if my Warlord is Alpha Legion.
Okay.
In this case, he's not. He's Sons of Horus, so I don't get the main benefits, really, for the Alpha Legion.
Great stuff. Okay, so we're really looking forward to see how the Sons of Horus and the Alpha Legion interact with each other. Legio Cybernetica, they're famous for having quite a bit of firepower. Thanatars in particular, Strength 8 AP2, love it.
It's going to be really important to get those big blast templates in the right place. We've got to slow the infantry down. Obviously, we're in a fortified position. We've got good line of sight, but that's a lot of firepower coming at us. A lot of bolters, and once you start taking saving throws, it's all about the numbers at that point. So we've just got to pick our targets well and slow him down and see what happens. Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to the Thanatar armed with the Graviton Siege Claw, I think it's called. And the Solex las cannon.
Yeah, it's quite nice template weapon, and then obviously if he does get into close combat, especially with the vehicles, it's armor bane, strength 10, AP 1. It's got a haywire flamer template on it, so it's quite good once those rhinos get up close, but. If they've got close, then we're in trouble.
See, I had a Thanatar with a Solex las cannon, and the Solex always missed for me because it's a huge long range weapon.
Yeah,
and I never ever got to use the close combat weapon because it either died or just didn't get close enough. But you're right in the middle of the board now, and Chris has got to come to you. So we might get to see it in action.
I'm hoping to see it plough through the side of some of those rhinos. That'd be quite nice.
I'd like not to see that, but I think it will happen.
I would like to see the Thanatar go toe to toe with the dreadnoughts over there. So
it's an auto pen with the old on a rhino.
I wasn't going to point that out until they were in close combat. So.
The best thing you could do with it is boost its initiative with Cybertheurgy +2, and then it's hitting first off before a Contemptor strikes.
That would be nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, once again, these were
ideas.
These were some rules I was going to wait until later to bring out. So
you could get +2 attacks, and is it +1 or +2 initiative?
+1 initiative. Yeah. On top of the +1 they already have. So he can be attacking at initiative.
It's 4 or 5.
It's 4 or 5 on a monstrous creature with a strength 10 AP 1 close combat weapon.
Sort of 5 attacks. Maybe you can boost him to 5 attacks.
Yeah.
Love it. Hammer of Wrath. Anyway, we can go on all day. I'm really looking forward to this. We've got 2 great guys. It's going to be a very lively game. I think there's going to be a lot of carnage. They're both very keen to annihilate each other. I'm looking forward to this. I really hope you've enjoyed the board. It is very similar to the mission that James and I ran a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago now, with the Thunderhawk gunship, the Ravenguard Thunderhawk gunship on the landing pad. All I've done is switch out the 2 middle tiles and replace them with the Promise readout and the warehouse. But I think it looks quite different. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Let's look at these lists, and then we'll see at the beginning of turn 1.
3,000 points of Shattered Legions, Sons of Horus and Alpha Legion, led by a Sons of Horus Praetor, running the Princeps of Deceit Warlord trait. HQ for the Sons of Horus, we have a Praetor in Cataphracti Terminator armour, armed with a mastercrafted Paragon Blade, digital lasers and a Combi Plasma. He's also joined by a Warmonger Consul from the Alpha Legion, equipped with Artificer armour, a mastercrafted power axe and an iron halo. Finally, we have a Saboteur Consul, also from the Alpha Legion, equipped with a combi melter and a power sword. In the elites, we have 2 Quartus Contemptor Dreadnoughts,
One is armed with a Kiri's assault cannon and a plasma blaster in his Dreadnought close combat weapon. The other has 2 Dreadnought close combat weapons. He also has 2 melter guns in his Dreadnought close combat weapons. In the troops, the Shattered Legion has 3 veteran tactical squads. Each unit has 10 veterans. Unit number 1 from the Sons of Horus has 4 combi plasma, 2 power axe, and the sergeant has a power fist. They have the veteran tactic of Weapons Master. The second Sons of Horus tactical squad has 4 combi plasmas. The sergeant also has a power fist, and they are Weapon Masters. The third veteran tactical squad is from the Alpha Legion. They have 10 veterans. The sergeant is equipped with a power fist. They also have a rhino with a dozer blade. They'll be using the Stalker veteran tactics. The fourth troops choice for the Shattered Legion is a tactical support squad from the Alpha Legion with 7 plasma guns. The fifth and final troops choice for the Shattered Legions is a unit of 5 Cataphracti Terminators. All of them are equipped with chain fists and they have their combi bolters. For the fast attack, the first choice is an 8-man Seeker squad. They also have a rhino with a dozer blade. The second fast attack choice for the Shattered Legion is an Alpha Legion Javelin Land Speeder squad. We have 3 land speeders, each with a multi-melter and cyclone missile launchers. Between the unit, there are 5 hunter-killer missiles. The one on the higher stalk will only have the 1 hunter-killer. In the heavy supports, the Shattered Legion have a Fire Raptor gunship equipped with the waist-mounted autocannons. Second heavy support for the Shattered Legions is a heavy support squad. Drawn from the Alpha Legion, we have 8 Volkite Culverins. The final heavy support choice for the Shattered Legions is a Whirlwind Scorpius.
This is a 3,000 point Legio Cybernetica list, led by an Archmagos Dominus, who has the Dreadrite Warlord trait. HQ choice for the Legio Cybernetica is a Archmagos Dominus. He's on an Abeyant. He has an Augury Scanner, Cyber Familiar, Machinator Array, a Mastercrafted Photon Thruster, Melter Bombs, Plasma Pistol, and a Power Weapon. He will be accompanied into battle by a Magos Dominus with an Augury Scanner, a Cyber Familiar, Machinator Array, a Mastercrafted Photon Thruster, Melter Bombs, Plasma Pistol, and a Power Axe. The first troops choice is a 10-man unit of Thralls armed with Laslocks, and they have the Right of Pure Thought. The second troops choice is a 6-man Thalox cohort armed with lightning guns. All of them have the heavy chain blades, melter bombs. They also have 2 phased plasma fusils. The final 2 troops choice for the Legio Cybernetica are 2 2-man units of Castellax Battle Automata. One unit is armed with Darkfire Lances and has enhanced targeting arrays. The other unit has multi-melters and twin power blades. So first fast attack choice for the Legio Cybernetica is a Ursarax cohort. We have 6 Ursarax, 4 of which have power fists and 2 have lightning claws. Next fast attack choice is a 2-man Vorax Battle Automata Maniple. They have the biocorrosive ammunition and enhanced targeting arrays. The final fast attack choice for the Legio Cybernetica is a Voltrax Stratos Automata. It's equipped with a Cessno pattern Havoc Launcher and a Voltrax Arc Blaster. The first heavy support choice is a 6-man Thalax cohort. They have the heavy chain blades, 2 photon thrusters, and have the Icarian special rule, which gives them Skyfire. The final 2 heavy support choices are a Thanatar Siege class Automata and a Calyx class Thanatar with the Solex pattern las cannon and enhanced targeting arrays.
Chris, John, we're deployed and ready to go. There's quite a lot of units outflanking the Mechanicum at the moment.
There is, absolutely. It's going to be a really interesting game. Lots to play for, particularly in the first few turns. I think need a big start to the game.
Yeah, and just a quick note, we've changed the mission from Dominion to War of Lies just to suit the deployment zones a little bit, haven't we?
Yes, I've got a six-man Thalax squad in the warehouse, and I have a 10-man Thrall squad inside the Primus Redoubt.
Great stuff. Now, at the moment, the Mechanicum are going first, is that right?
No, the Shattered Legion has the first turn. Mechanicum are going to be trying to seize, though.
Ah, yes. All right, so let's have a friendly handshake, gents.
Oh, that's extra friendly.
Guess I go for a seize.
It's a 2.
Ah.
Shattered Legion's turn 1, starting with the movement phase. All of the veterans have pushed forward 6 inches. They are moving up the board, trying to put a bit of pressure on the Mechanicum. The Scorpius hasn't moved, so it will be getting its extra shots. Neither have the Volkites moved, so they are lining up some shots on the Mechanicum. In the top corner, the Seekers have moved up. They were out of range for their special ammunition. They're taking cover behind their Rhino, hoping that'll deter some of the lighter arms. Both Quarters Contemptors have ran up. The Sons of Horus Contemptor has overcharged for +1 inch on its movement, whilst the Alpha Legion Quartus has overcharged for an extra attack in the assault phase. The Praetor and his Cataphracti bodyguard have pushed up, looking for maybe a turn 2 or 3 charge, whilst the Javelins provide support fire on the flank. Shattered Legion's turn 1 shooting started off with the Whirlwind Scorpius opening fire on the Ursarax. We scored a mighty 5 wounds, killing 1 Ursarax and putting a wound on a second one. The Volkite Culverin squad opened fire on the Thalax positioned on the Redoubt, firing 36 shots. I managed an amazing 17 hits, which converted to 12 wounds. 15 wounds, including Deflagrate. This saw 2 Thalax fall and reduced another one by 1 wound. Shooting continues with the Javelins opening fire on the Magos Prime. Originally I was thinking about going for the Thanatar, as I've got a lot of high strength, low AP weaponry in the unit there. However, I reasoned if I can take out the Prime, that would be a lot of Cyberthurgy ability that I can reduce from the list. So they opened fire, shooting all of their weapons, including all of the Hunter-Killer missiles. Ultimately, I reduced the Prime by 2 wounds. The Alpha Legion Quartus Contemptor fired both of his melter guns at the Castellax. Only 1 shot hit, which was saved by the Castellax. The Sons of Horus Quartus Contemptor opened fire with all of its weapons on the Siege Thanatar. The Kiri's assault cannon did no damage, although it hit with all of its shots. The plasma blaster then followed suit, hitting twice. Again, no wounds were caused. End of Alpha Legion turn 1 shooting. Not a bad turn. Got quite a bit of fire downrange. Really pleased with the outcome. We're going on to some assault phases now, so let's see if we can put the hurt on the Mechanicum some more. Shattered Legion turn 1 assault phase. Very mixed bag here. The Alpha Legion Quartus Contemptor tried to charge the Castellax, and he very nearly lost a hull point from Overwatch, with the Castellax scoring a hit with a multi-melter. Thankfully it was saved on the invuln save, although he failed his charge by 1 inch, I must add. However, the Sons of Horus Contemptor, thankfully I chose to overcharge his reactor, because he only just made the charge in against the Thanatar. The Sons of Horus Quartus Contemptor threw himself into combat with the Thanatar. Really great round of combat here, causing 2 wounds on the Thanatar, all bar 1 of my attacks hit. So really pleased with that. The Thanatar then opted to smash attack, which unfortunately for the Mechanicum failed to hit. I'm sure, though, there is going to be some Cyberthurgy coming back at me next turn.
Mechanicum, turn 1 movement. Not a lot of movement to be done. We've redeployed the Ursarax to give them a very short charge on the Contemptor. Mechanicum, turn 1 shooting. We started with Cyberthurgy, trying to heal some wounds on the Thanatar. The Archmagos Dominus focused his amazing powers and then had a mishap while attempting to repair him, causing another wound with no saves allowed. A great start to the actual shooting. The 2 Castellax targeted the Contemptor that was bearing down on them, aimed their multi-melters, shot him square in the face and deleted him off the battlefield. Unfortunately, this also, in the resulting explosion, caused a wound to the Thalax. A phenomenal follow-up from the Thalax on top of the warehouse. The combined firepower of their plasma fusils and lightning guns has managed to score 3 hull points on the Javelin land speeders, destroying one and reducing a second down to 1 hull point. The Castellax with the Darkfire cannons have taken umbrage against the Volkite Culverins and have opened up with their Darkfire cannons, scoring an amazing 4 hits and killing 4 Marines. The Thalax joined in with the Castellax in shooting the Volkite Culverin squad, using their photon thrusters, scored 4 hits, but only managed to kill 3, leaving 1 Volkite Culverin to trouble me in turn 2. The Dominus then took a very, very tricky shot at the Landspeeder Javelins, firing with his photon thruster, managing to score 1 hit, but not causing a hull point. Mechanicum, turn 1 assault phase.
The Sons of Horus Quartus Contemptor strikes at initiative 4. Really great result. With the 3 attacks, I managed to cause enough wounds to kill the Thanatar.
The Ursarax smashed into the Contemptor Dreadnought, swinging a massive 12 times with their power fists, hitting 6 and scoring 5 penetrating hits. The Contemptor exploded and in its vengeance managed to score a wound on one of the Ursarax, after which the Ursarax and the Dominus withdrew slightly to consolidate for turn 2. Overall, I think a great first turn for the Mechanicum. We've stood the initial charge, taken out some heavy hitters, have lost a little bit ourselves, but are prepped and ready to face turn 2.
Shattered Legions, turn 2. Started the turn with reserve rolls. All my reserves except the Fire Raptor have showed up. The Saboteur has walked onto the board, and as he enters the battlefield, his sabotage attack, he caused a single wound on the Ursarax. That was a single Strength 6 AP 3 wound. Really pleased with that result. As we move around the board, the Terminators have pushed up, trying to get an offensive on the Ursarax. Again, the Javelins have provided close fire support. All of the veterans at the top of the table have pushed up 6 inches to put a bit of pressure on the top objective. The Alpha Legion veteran squad is also outflanked in their Rhino in the top corner. The Scorpius has remained unmoving, so he will be getting maximum firepower. And the tactical support squad with plasma guns have deep struck, thanks to the Warbringer, looking in a great position to put some hurt on some Mechanicum units. The Seekers have also opened up a line of fire on the Castellax, hoping to use their AP3 rounds. At the end of the Shattered Legion movement phase, the Mechanicum have opted to intercept, thanks to the augury scanner on the Dominus. Using this, the Castellax with the Dark Fires have opened fire on the Plasma Support Squad, killing 2 from their Dark Fires and a further 1 from their Bolters. 1 wound was also caused on the Warbringer. No, not caused on. Taken by...
Warmonger?
1 further wound was also caused on the Warmonger, thanks to the Bolters from the Castellax. Shooting for the Shattered Legions started with the Plasma Support Squad opening fire on the Castellax. Really great result here. Of the 8 plasma gun shots, as they rapid fired, I scored 8 hits. followed up by 4 wounds, which killed 1 Castellax because one took a wound from Gets Hot previously. Following up from the Plasma Support Squad, the Heavy Weapons Squad with the single Volkite Culverin opened fire on the Thalax. All 4 shots hit, causing 3 wounds. This also then actually caused 1 unsaved wound on the Thalax. The Alpha Legion Seeker Squad have opened fire on their unit, which is marked for death, this being the Castellax with the multi-melters. All bar 1 of the Seekers hit their target with their Scorpius rounds, causing 2 wounds, which unfortunately were saved by the Mechanicum. The Cataphracti Terminators have opened fire on the Ursarax, all hit with their bolters, however no wounds were caused. The Praetor also joined in with his Combi Plasma. This did manage to successfully cause a wound on the Ursarax. The Alpha Legion Javelins have opened fire with close fire support for the Terminators, shooting the Dominus in the centre of the board. 1 Javelin was snap shooting, although with some great shots, managed to score 2 hits with the Cyclones. Unfortunately, this was saved. The 2nd Javelin opened fire on the same unit, causing 1 wound from the multi-melter. The Whirlwind Scorpius has opened fire on the Ursarax. As he hasn't moved, he got D3 plus 1 shots. This equates to 3 templates. Really great result here, causing 6 wounds. Shattered Legions turn to assault phase. The Cataphracti Terminators and the Praetor have charged the Ursarax, taking no wounds on the charge from Overwatch. This is going to be a really crucial combat because all of the Ursarax are already down 1 wound. Could really see a big swing in the game in this combat phase. Striking at Initiative 5, the Sons of Horus Praetor attacked the Ursarax with his mastercrafted Paragon Blade. Not a great result here, only causing 1 wound. Thankfully it was instant death, so this has removed a single Ursarax. We're now going on to Initiative Step 1. At Initiative Step 1, the Cataphracti Terminators have struck with their Chain Fists. Of 15 attacks on the charge, 10 hit, which converted to 6 wounds. This was enough to remove the Ursarax, however they will get to hit me back. The Ursarax have struck back at the same initiative as the Terminators. 6 attacks, 2 hit, killing 2 of the Terminators. Not so great outcome for me on that. However, I did wipe the unit, so then consolidated a single inch.
Mechanicum turn 2 movement. The Vorax have outflanked and come on behind the Plasma Veteran Squad, looking to put some hurt on them. The Thralls, in reaction to all the shenanigans going on outside, have deployed out of the redoubt to see what's going on. The Thanatar, eager to avenge his brother, has moved towards the Praetor and the Cataphracti Terminators, backed up by the Castellax. The Thalax have valiantly reconsolidated on top of the warehouse to put some fire support in to the Terminator unit before the big boys go in for the fight. Mechanicum turn 2 shooting. The Vorax have very sneakily come up behind the Tactical Support Squad and have, with combined firepower, managed to remove 4 members of that squad, leaving them very vulnerable to the charge. The Icarian Thalax have taken umbrage to the Whirlwind Scorpius, causing so much pain to us. We've targeted it and managed to score 2 hull points, shake it, and cause it to be immobilized. Unfortunately, in the process of reaping out their fiery vengeance, the Icarians did suffer a wound to one of the Photon Thruster Thalax due to Gets Hot. The Calix Thanatar, having seen his Ursarax brothers so brutally killed by the Sons of Horus Terminators, targeted all of his amazing weaponry, scoring some phenomenal hits. Unfortunately, the superior Terminator armor of the Sons of Horus has prevailed, seeing some amazing saves, negating all of their shooting. Joining in on the underwhelming attack from the Calix Thanatar, the Castellax with the multi-melters targeted all of their firepower at the Sons of Horus, and have failed to wound with anything. The Archmagos Dominus also targets the Sons of Horus Terminator unit, firing his master-crafted photon thruster, which hit but did not wound, unfortunately causing a get hot result, which he did manage to save. He then fired his las pistol, which unsurprisingly did nothing to the Terminator armor. Continuing with the shooting, trying to thin out the Sons of Horus, the Thalax have laid into them with all of their weaponry, scoring some hits, but unfortunately managing to do no wounds against the obviously superior Cataphractii armor. Concluding the Mechanicum turn 2 shooting phase, the Thralls have opened fire on the tactical squad advancing on them. Unfortunately, following on from the disastrous shooting elsewhere, they have scored no hits against the Marines. In conclusion, a fairly underwhelming shooting round. It appears something's gone wrong, and at this point, the Archmagos Dominus is going to quickly reset the servers and get everyone ready to come back strong in the assault phase. Mechanicum turn 2 assault. The Calyx Thanatar has charged the Sons of Horus Terminator squad, backed up by the Castellax with the twin power blades. The Calyx Thanatar has charged in, inflicting 2 Hammer of Wrath attacks, which unfortunately have failed to wound. We will move on to initiative step 5, where the Praetor is going to attack the Thanatar. At initiative step 5, the Praetor valiantly swung at the Thanatar, looking for those instant death hits. Unfortunately, due to the superior toughness of the Thanatar, the Praetor's axe glanced off, doing no wounds at all. Also attacking at initiative 5, the Castellax with the twin power blades ploughed into the Terminators. With a massive 10 attacks on the charge, they managed to hit 7 times, causing 7 wounds to the Terminators. The Sons of Horus amazingly managed to save 5 of those, and we only managed to kill 2 Terminators. We forgot to mention, in the shooting phase, the Archmagos Dominus cast the Rites of Fury on the Thanatar, giving him +2 attacks on the charge. So at initiative 3, swinging against the Praetor with his Graviton Ram, the Thanatar caused 5 wounds, which unfortunately for the Sons of Horus wiped the Praetor and the rest of the squad off the battlefield. After the assault phase, the Thanatar has consolidated back into the redoubt, and the Castellax have slowly advanced towards the Javelin land speeder. On the whole, a fairly good assault phase. In fact, amazing assault phase. Redeemed the poor shooting and has left us in a very, very strong position moving into Sons of Horus turn 3.
Shattered Legions turn 3. At the start of the movement phase, the Fire Raptor has entered the field. He's eyeing up some shots across the table. The veterans have pushed up the table once more. They're putting some real pressure on the tech thralls in the objective at the centre. The Whirlwind and the Volkites at the top end of the table have remained put. Just going to try and eke out a few more shots from them before they are removed. The Plasma Support Squad with the Warmonger have turned to face the new threat that's snuck up behind them. Not entirely sure how much damage they're going to do, but we'll see how that goes. Seekers are drawing their bead on the Thalax at the top of the warehouse, which is also being joined by the Saboteur, who's looking to scrap some robots. Shattered Legions turn 3 shooting starts with the Fire Raptor. It's opened fire with the Avenger Bolt Cannon, 1 of the auto cannons, and he has fired 2 of his Tempest rockets at the Vorax. Really great round of shooting there, causing enough wounds to kill 1 of the Vorax and reduce the final Vorax to 1 wound. Firing independently from the rest of the weapons, the remaining autocannon from the Fire Raptor has shot the Thalax on the top of the warehouse. Again, really great result, reducing 1 of the Thalax down to a single wound. The Plasma Support Squad have added their fire into the Vorax. with the sergeant rapid firing his plasma gun and removing the final wound off of the Vorax. The Alpha Legion Seeker Squad have turned their guns onto the Thalax on top of the warehouse. Using their Scorpius rounds, they had an amazing round of shooting, killing 2 of the Thalax, and the Rhino also fired its bolter, causing another wound as well. Really pleased with how that's panned out. Saboteur Consul has fired his Combi Melter into the Thalax, just joining in with all of the firepower into them, again causing another wound on the Thalax. The Heavy Weapon Support Squad with the Volkite Culverin has fired into the Thalax, causing 1 wound. Seeing the carnage that took place during previous assault phase, the Javelin has fired all of his weapons into the Castellax. The Cyclone missile launchers have taken a wound off of the Castellax, whilst the Multi-Melter failed to wound. The Sons of Horus Veteran Tactical Squad have fired their bolt pistols into the Thralls, sitting on the objective at the centre of the battlefield. Of the 9 bolt pistols that were in range, 8 hit, causing 4 wounds and killing 4 of the Tech Thralls. Joining in with the fire from the veterans, the Alpha Legion Rhino has fired his bolt gun to no effect into the Tech Thralls. Shattered Legions Turn 3 Assault Phase. The Shattered Legions have successfully got off several charges, with the Veteran Tactical Squads engaging both the Tech Thralls in the centre and the Thalax in the centre, whilst the Saboteur has successfully charged the Thalax on the top of the warehouse. The Saboteur has successfully charged into the Thalax. Unfortunately, with all of his attacks, he caused no damage to the Thalax. They in turn turned around with their heavy chain blades and inflicted a single wound on him. I passed my leadership check, so they are locked in combat. The Veteran Tactical Squad against the Tech Thralls had an amazing round of fighting. Out of the 36 attacks, I caused 15 wounds. This was enough to wipe the unit from the readout. The second Sons of Horus Veteran Tactical Squad have had another great combat against the Thalax. At Initiative Step 4, we caused enough wounds to remove 2 Thalax from the unit. At Initiative Step 3, the Thalax piled in, but no one was in base to base, so were unable to attack. Picking up now at Initiative Step 1, the Sons of Horus Veteran Tactical Squad now get to attack once more with everyone who has already attacked, because I outnumber the Mechanicum in this combat, before, crucially, the Power Axes and the Power Fist get to strike. With the additional attacks caused from the encircling Sons of Horus, I've managed to cause enough wounds to remove 1 more Thalax. Really strong show from the Sons of Horus this turn, with the assault in the centre of the board against the Thalax going really well. The Power Axes and Power Fist have removed the remaining Thalax, and we then consolidated 3 inches, just asserting our dominance on the board and just really putting the pressure on the Mechanicum now.
Mechanicum Turn 3 movement phase. We're on a bit of a back foot, so we have to be aggressive. We're pushing forward towards the enemy to try and clear them out of the redoubt. Thankfully enough, the Vulture Axe has come in from reserve to try and deal with the Fire Raptor. Mechanicum Turn 3 shooting. We've started with Cyberthurgy. In an attempt to claw this battle back, the Magos Dominus has cast the Rite of Destruction on the Vulture Axe, allowing him to shoot his weapons twice this turn. And the Archmagos Dominus has cast the Rite of Fury on the Thanatar, giving him an extra 2 attacks. In an attempt to claw back some dignity for the Mechanicum shooting, the Vulture Axe has fired at the Fire Raptor twice, thanks to the Cyberthurgy of the Archmagos Dominus. This allowed him 6 haywire shots, which unfortunately only managed to cause 1 whole point of damage and a stunned result. The Castellax have fired their multi-melters at the land speeder Javelin. They hit once, penetrated, but the superior piloting skills have led him to jink successfully. The Magos Dominus, using his Flamer from his Machinator array and his mastercrafted photon thruster managed to kill 2 Marines. The Castellax, firing at the tactical squad in front of him, used his Dark Fire Lance. Unfortunately, one shot got hot, which caused a wound to him, but the other shot managed to delete a Marine off the battlefield. He then fired his arm-mounted bolters and managed to kill another Marine. The combined firepower of the Archmagos Dominus and the Calyx Thanatar have killed 4 Marines in the redoubt. Mechanicum turn 3 assault phase. The Archmagos and the Thanatar attempted to charge the veteran squad in front of them. They needed a 5-inch movement, unfortunately only rolled 4, thus failing their charge. Thankfully enough, the Dominus and the Darkfire Castellax made their 3-inch charge, allowing them to plough into the other veteran squad in front of them, hopefully clearing them out of the redoubt. At Initiative 10, the Hammer of Wrath attack from the Castellax did no wounds. The Castellax then followed up at Initiative 5, managing to kill one of the Marines. In response to the Castellax's charge, the Marines decided to use their crack grenades to try and take him down. They threw 5 grenades. Thankfully enough, the superior armour of the Castellax won through and no wounds were taken. At Initiative 4, the final Marine, who didn't use his crack grenades, swung back at the Dominus, managing to take that final wound off him and remove him from the battlefield. At Initiative Step 1, the Sons of Horus Sergeant swung back with his Power Fist, managing to cause 2 wounds. And because the Sons of Horus outnumber the Castellax, they, due to their merciless fighter rule, got an extra 5 attacks, which thankfully did no damage. The combat between the Saboteur and the Thalax continues. The Saboteur swung first and managed to cause a single wound, which unfortunately removed one of the Thalax. The Thalax then swung back using their heavy chain blades. They managed to hit twice. Unfortunately, the Saboteur managed to save both of the wounds. And thankfully, the leadership test for the Thalax was passed due to their stubbornness.
Shattered Legions, turn 4, starting with the movement phase. The lone Volkite Culverin Marine has not moved, as I'm slightly amazed he's still alive. So he's drawing a bead on the Mechanicum. As we push around the board, the Scorpius has not moved. He is able to fire unmolested once again this turn. The Alpha Legion Veteran Tactical Squad in their Rhino is making a rush for the objective, whilst the Fire Raptor is pushing up along the flank, drawing beads on the Mechanicum. The Sons of Horus veterans are bracing for a charge or engaged in combat, whilst the Javelin is picking some shots once more. The Seekers have embarked in their Rhino and are making a rush for the objectives, and the Plasma Tactical Support Squad with the Warmonger have pushed into the centre of the board, trying to make themselves a bit of a nuisance. Shattered Legions, turn 4 shooting. The Javelin has opened fire into the Castellax. As he jinked last turn, he was snap shooting with all of their weapons into the Castellax in the centre of the board, causing no damage. The Whirlwind Scorpius opened fire on the Castellax, scoring it 5 hits in total, causing 3 wounds. Great result for the shooting. Despite snap shooting, the Fire Raptor has opened fire on the Castellax. The Avenger Bolt Cannon did some great work, taking the remaining wound off of the Castellax. The autocannons unfortunately did no damage, along with firing the 2 remaining Tempest rockets. Continuing the Shattered Legions shooting phase, the lone Volkite has opened fire on the Archmagos Domina and caused no damage at all, only hitting with one of his shots. The Veteran Tactical Squad that previously had gone to ground opened fire, snap shooting their combi plasmas. Unfortunately, one Marine lost his brave soul to overheat. None of the other shots caused any damage. The one remaining plasma support Marine Sergeant opened fire with his plasma gun at the Archmagos, unfortunately causing no damage. Thankfully he didn't overheat though. The Seekers in their dedicated Rhino flat out moved towards the objective. They do have implacable advance, so they are a scoring unit. Shattered Legion turn 4 assault phase. The Sons of Horus veteran tactical squad has attacked the Castellax. Opting to use their regular close combat weapons, they have swung 15 attacks, causing 3 wounds, of which all were saved by the Castellax. Striking simultaneously, the Castellax has hit the veterans, causing 1 casualty. I'm now swinging at initiative step 1. I still outnumber, so with Merciless Fighters, I'm going to get an additional attack for my initiative 4 Marines before the Sergeant with his Power Fist gets to attack. At initiative step 1, the Merciless Fighters cause no additional wounds. The Sergeant then piled in with his Power Fist, causing 1 wound on the Castellax. This was a drawn combat, so we stay locked in on the main objective. In the combat with the Saboteur against the Thalax on the top of the warehouse, the Saboteur swung with his power sword, unfortunately causing no wounds on the Thalax. They then turned with their heavy chain blades and inflicted a single wound, killing the Saboteur. They have then consolidated 6 inches. End of turn 4 for the Shattered Legions. It's getting really precise and clinical at this point in the game now. I've got more scoring units than the Mechanicum, so we're trying to put some pressure on the objectives. However, the Mechanicum are really strong still, and they've got a lot of heavy hitters.
Mechanicum turn 4 movement. The Thalax on top of the warehouse have shifted slightly to give them good line of sight on the Seeker squad that's coming up to the objective. The Archmagos Dominus and the Thanatar have turned around to face the new threat from the rear and move towards it. The Multi-Melter Castellax is continuing his advance up the board towards the tactical squads at the redoubt. The Vulture Axe has also turned to face the new threat, has moved up towards the redoubt with a view to dropping some templates on those tactical marines. Mechanicum turn 4 shooting. To start us off, the Thalax on top of the warehouse have opened fire on the Rhino with the Seeker unit inside. Using their plasma fusils, they've managed to take off 1 hull point and cause a stun result on the vehicle. The Archmagos Dominus has also used his Cyberlurgy on the Castellax with the Darkfire Lance to restore 1 wound. The Thanatar shooting at the Rhino again, using his Graviton Ram with the Haywire attack, managed to take off 1 hull point and then finally managed to wreck it using the Solex pattern las cannon. The Marines then emergency disembarked out the rear of the vehicle, which was the best result for the Alpha Legion and a good result for me as it puts them further away from the objective. Advancing up to the redoubt, the Castellax with the Multi-Melter has managed to fire all of his weapons. The Flamers were ineffective against the Marine in cover, but the Multi-Melter managed to kill 1. The Vulture Axe, shooting with its Havoc launchers, managed to hit the veteran tactical squad, taking off 1 Marine as a casualty. The second shot scattered into the unit in combat with the Castellax, removing 1 Marine as a casualty. Mechanicum turn 4 assault. The Thalax on top of the warehouse have used their thrust move to get out of line of sight of the Seekers. Now we're going to move on to the combat with the Castellax and the tactical squad. Trying to regain a little bit of initiative here. The Castellax has swung, hitting hard, managing to kill 2 of the Marines. The Sons of Horus, fighting hard against the Castellax, managed 9 attacks, which translated into 1 wound, which was successfully saved by the Castellax. At initiative step 1, the Sergeant swung back at the Castellax with his Power Fist, not managing to do any wounds, which meant that the Sons of Horus had lost combat by 2. Unfortunately, the Castellax wasn't able to sweep them, and the Sons of Horus ran a gigantic 10 inches away from the monster that is the Castellax.
Shattered Legion, turn 5, movement phase, starting with the Seekers, that having been forced to disembark from their Rhino, they've pushed around the board a little bit, giving up the central objective, hoping to get some shots on the rear armour of the Castellax. The Warmonger and his bodyguard with the plasma gun is also putting some pressure on the Castellax. The veterans that ran last turn have rallied and have turned to face the Castellax once more. The lone Volkite Culverin in the corner, who is still remarkably alive, is drawing bead on the Castellax. Alpha Legion veterans in their Rhino have pushed up onto the objective and will disembark next turn. The Fire Raptor has dropped into hover mode to draw some tasty fire on the Mechanicum, along with the Javelin, which is firing unmolested this turn. Still a lot to play for in this game. It's very, very tense. Shattered Legion, turn 5 shooting. Starting off with the lone Volkite Culverin, he opened fire on the Castellax on the readout, hitting 4 times, causing 1 wound, which was saved. The Plasma Support Squad also fired, rapid firing, hitting twice, but causing no wounds. Finally, the Veteran Tactical Squad, which rallied this turn, snapshot their bolters, none of which hit the Castellax. The Javelin has opened fire on the Castellax. With the Cyclone Missile Launcher, it caused 1 wound. Unfortunately, the Multi-Melter, despite hitting, failed to wound. Having dropped into hover mode, the Fire Raptor opens fire on both the Castellax. The Avenger Bolt Cannon and 1 of the autocannons fired, causing 2 wounds, on the Castellax, leaving it on 1 wound remaining. The remaining autocannon then fired onto the Dark Lance Castellax in the middle, causing no wounds. The Seeker Squad has opened fire onto the Castellax with the Dark Fire, using their Kraken rounds. 1 Marine was in range to rapid fire, so out of the 9 shots, I managed to cause 1 wound, which was saved by the Castellax. The Whirlwind Scorpius has opened fire on the Thalax in front of the warehouse. It is indirect fire, so scattering full distance. Managing with 4 templates, the initial one scattered 6 inches away from the enemy, meaning that any further rolls would have still been a miss. The 3 remaining Sons of Horus veterans in the readout fired their bolt pistols in preparation for a charge on the remaining Castellax. Of the 3 shots that were fired, 2 hit. Unfortunately, there were no wounds caused. Shattered Legion, turn 5, assault phase. We kick things off with the Plasma Support Squad and Warmonger charging the Darkfire Castellax. Unfortunately, the remaining wound on the Plasma Support Squad is taken from Overwatch, leaving the Warmonger on his own. The remaining Sons of Horus Veteran Tactical Squad has also charged, successfully making it in. Hopefully we can remove that 1 last wound off of the Castellax this turn. Striking at Initiative 4, the Sons of Horus veterans have hit the Castellax, causing 1 wound, which is a great result. He then turned and hit me back, or tried to, but he missed with his 2 attacks. 1 wound remaining on the Castellax as we move into Initiative 1. Great result in the combat in the centre of the board. The Warmonger swung his power axe and took the remaining wound off the Castellax. The veterans and the Warmonger then consolidated 6 inches each, pushing themselves just a little bit further away from the big threats of the Mechanicum, ready to pounce at the final turn onto the objective.
Mechanicum, turn 5 movement. We're now having to be quite aggressive. The game's coming down to death toll, so we're now trying to deny the objective to the Sons of Horus and also finish up those last niggling units that have been causing us problems through the whole game. Mechanicum, turn 5 shooting. We started off with our Cyberlurgy, repairing one of the wounds on the Castellax with the multi-melter. The Dominus then decided to try and clear up the tricky Volkite Culverin Marine in the corner, which he quite successfully did with his mastercrafted photon thruster. Continuing the brutal shooting phase, the Vulture Axe has managed to finish off the Landspeeder Javelin with his haywire attacks off his Arc Blaster, netting me yet another point for death toll. The Calyx Thanatar has opened fire on the Fire Raptor using his Solex las cannon. While we hit it, unfortunately we didn't manage to glance it. He then followed up with a fusillade of shots from the Mauler bolt pattern, managing to take off another hull point. To finish up the Mechanicum shooting phase, the Castellax with the multi-melter has fired at the veteran tactical marines. Unfortunately, he missed. Mechanicum, turn 5 assault phase. The Castellax with the multi-melter attempted to charge the veteran tactical squad. Their overwatch was unsuccessful, and so was the charge.
Shattered Legion's final turn, turn 6. The veteran tactical squad for the Alpha Legion have disembarked from their Rhino on top of the objective. Hopefully they will be still there at the end of the turn holding that objective. The Fire Raptor has gone back up into flying mode, drawing a bead on the Thalax, which are currently barring the entrance to the warehouse. The Seekers have held their ground and are drawing bead on the Archmagos, whilst the Warmonger fancies his odds in combat against him as well, having just cut down a Castellax. Feeling emboldened with his veterans stood beside him, he's going to go for a decent charge. Turn 6, Shattered Legion shooting. The Alpha Legion Seekers opened fire on the Archmagos, having a great round of shooting. 8 shots, of which 5 hit, causing 4 wounds, one of which was converted into an unsaved wound. The Warmonger and his veterans that are following fired their bolt pistols. Great round of shooting in terms of hits, however none of them were able to penetrate the armour of the Archmagos. Having gone back into flying mode, the Fire Raptor was snap shooting because he did jink last turn. He fired 1 autocannon and the Avenger bolt cannon into the Thalax in front of the warehouse. Lots of shots, unfortunately many misses, although I did manage to cause 1 wound on the Thalax. The second waist-mounted autocannon fired off separately into the Archmagos. Unfortunately, none of the shots hit. The Whirlwind Scorpius has opened fire onto the Archmagos, firing 2 of his rockets. I chose the Archmagos as the target because I figured causing 1 wound would be much easier than 6 or 7 to remove the Thalax. He would also be worth 2 victory points at the end of the game for Slay the Warlord and Death Toll. However, having hit twice, I was unable to wound. Shattered Legion's turn 6 assault phase, the final effort. The Warmonger and his bodyguard squadron issued a charge against the Archmagos, needing 5 inches to make it in, unfortunately only rolling 3. The charge was not made, no wounds were taken on Overwatch, but I have not made it into combat. Really gutted about that. That is going to be pivotal.
The 6th and final turn for the movement phase, for the Mechanicum. We have moved up now, just concentrating on death toll. The Thalax have stayed on the objective. The Vulturax have moved up to get some shots on the Fire Raptor. And the Thanatar and the Archmagos are now eyeing up what's left of the veteran tactical squad in front of them. So to start Mechanicum's final turn of shooting off, the Vulturax has turned its haywire arc blaster on the Fire Raptor, firing 3 shots, hitting with 2, but only glancing with 1. Not taking it down as we hoped. Bit of a disappointment on this final turn. In an attempt to strip that final hull point off the Fire Raptor, The Thalax in front of the warehouse, valiantly holding the objective of open fire with all of their weapons at that fire raptor, unfortunately failing to do any damage. The Archmagos Dominus, firing at the Warmonger with his mastercrafted photon thruster, managed to score 2 wounds, one of which was very luckily lookout surd off the Warmonger, which leaves him on 1 wound. Concentrating now on death toll, the Archmagos, using his Cyberthurgy, double-shotted the Calyx Thanatar, who opened up with his Solex Las Cannon. Unfortunately, while both rounds hit, they both failed to wound. He then followed up with a fusillade of Mauler bolt cannon shots, which luckily managed to wipe the unit. The final shot of the game was by the Castellax with the multi-melter at the Tactical Veteran Squad. Unfortunately, this failed to do any wounds. Now going to go and tot up all the victory points. This is going to be incredibly close.
That was the Shattered Legion of Sons of Horus and Alpha Legion versus Legion of Cybernetica for the Mechanicum. Gents, that was one hell of a game.
Absolutely. So tense the whole way.
Oh,
unreal.
Amazingly close.
It was. It sounds a bit of a cliche, but it really was a roller coaster of emotions. I honestly thought it was going to end perhaps turn 2, turn 3, but you've both managed to drag it out till 6, and it's an amazingly close game all the way through. Just unbelievable. Good work.
An absolute phenomenal slugfest.
Yeah.
Six turns of pain on both sides.
Yeah. And pleasure at the same time.
There you go. A lot of stuff died. But we'll move on to victory points. Just very quickly though, we did change from Dominion to War Allies right at the last second because the mission we were playing with the objectives just didn't quite work. So we went to War of Allies in the end. So there was a death toll in this mission. The Shattered Legions, Chris, he did an amazing job and scored 7 death toll points.
Yes, indeed.
You didn't manage to pick the Warlord, but that's all right. It got him down to 1 wound, though, didn't you?
I did indeed. So close.
Really good effort. And at the end of the game, you had 1 victory point where you had those vets job, jumped out of the Rhino, secured that objective.
Absolutely.
So you get a roll on the War Allies chart. Do you want to give it a whirl?
That's a cock dice. Extra tense. It's a 4.
2 VPs takes you to 9, and John, you did an amazing job. You got Slay the Warlord, so you've won already because you've got 10 death toll points.
Yeah,
takes you to 11. But what do you roll though? Oh, it's a 6. It's minus D3. Come on then, let's have a roll. It's 1. Okay, so you go to 9.
No, 10.
Sorry, 10.
Down to 10.
I can't do maths apparently. So 10 death toll, 1 Slay the Warlord, minus 1. Jeez Louise.
Congratulations, John.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you very
Great
much.
game. Thank you.
It was a very exhaustive game. I mean,
yeah,
we've all been up since 6.
Yeah.
I think it's 7 o'clock now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a long day, but it's been a really great day.
Absolutely.
I think one of the best Heresy games I've ever had. I've never played a game. It's been so much fun. It was such a sportsman, I have to say. Yes, it took a long time, but it really didn't feel like it. So thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you. And thank you, David, for having us as well.
My pleasure. You gents are welcome anytime. You've brought back some units to talk about. So, Chris, we'll start with you. Tell us about the Terminators.
Great. So, I've brought back my Sons of Horus Terminators and the Praetor. Mm-hmm. Brought them back because partly I love the models and the paint job. Part of the new Legion I'm working on. Really pleased with how they look. But as well, the output they put, the outcome in the game. I think having just watched it, you'll know they took an awful lot of firepower in turn 2 or 3. Really, really pivotal sort of moment that was, and of many really pivotal moments as it turns out. But yeah, I couldn't bring anyone else back really. It had to be them.
They were great, weren't they?
Yeah.
John, you brought back your Archmagos Dominus.
Yes. So there are a few contenders for man of the match for the Mechanicum. The Archmagos has just taken it purely due to the cyberlurgy. He had one hiccup.
We're laughing because he calls it cyberlurgy and it just makes us laugh. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
He had a small hiccup early on where he did have a mishap.
He did.
But thankfully enough, every other time I needed him, he was there to repair, to give back wounds. The extra attacks, the double shotting was critical, absolutely critical at the end. So absolutely man of the match for me.
I loved it how you tried so desperately to get rid of that fire raptor, didn't you?
Oh.
But it was just so elusive.
It would not die.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really great game. Playing the ambush mission, stuff gets on units really, really fast. And Chris, you did an amazing job. You pushed those dreadnoughts up, and they got a turn 2 charge. Oh, turn 1 charge.
Turn 1 charge with one of them.
Jeez. And I just thought, well, that's going to be the end of it, surely.
I mean, as the defender, I was absolutely on the back foot. Mechanicum are not known for their desire to get out there and charge. So having a critical unit charged and killed so early on in the game, I thought was pivotal, and I genuinely started to feel a little bit down at that point.
Yeah.
We did manage to rally round, just focused, played the mission, tried to keep our heads up, and ultimately high toughness and some reasonably good shooting just managed to squeak it out at the end.
Yeah, I think taking that Thanatar was key because you got rid of that Strength 8 AP2 blast.
Absolutely.
And that nullified the Mechanicum's ability to deal with all of the troops he took.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the linchpin I set out. I told you before the game, didn't I, John? Yeah. That Thanatar was the linchpin to taking apart the Mechanicum, so I had to get rid of it early on.
I think it was definitely worth sacrificing the dreadnought for it.
Absolutely. As I said, I genuinely thought at that point I was going to start collapsing. There were a few moments later on when that feeling came back, but ultimately, as you'll see from the video, it's just so back and forth, and it incredibly close and incredibly good fun.
It was a really, really great game. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed it. I've taken a ton of photos from this game, so please go to the Facebook page when it is released and check out those photos. Now, gents, we've got a few things to talk about. You both attend a club in Stratford-upon-Avon, is that right?
Correct.
Tell us all about it.
So both John and I are a part of the Scribes of War gaming club in Stratford-upon-Avon, as John is repping, my beautiful assistant. So really great club. We meet twice a month, playing all sorts of games from Age of Sigmar, 40k, and starting more and more on the Horus Heresy.
Great.
So do come on down, check us out on Facebook. It's Scribes of War Gaming Club. We post up when the dates for the next gaming nights are, so find out on there. We're also running events throughout the year as well, so try and get along to some of those if you're able to.
Yeah, I think I attended your last one, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Really great event, some really lovely people, some great armies. And it was an awesome day. A fantastic goodie bag.
Yeah, gift bag.
Gift bag. Yeah, really, really cool. So I can 100% recommend it. So if you're in the Stratford area, give them a whirl.
Absolutely.
Now we move on to Instagram. Chris, you're quite a big poster with all your gear, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Where can we find you?
You can find me at The Unbroken Chain. Pictures of my stuff, the games I play, all sorts on there. So yeah, give me a bit of a follow. Ask any questions, and I'll try and get back to you. Yeah,
that's the key thing as well. If you've got any questions specifically for Chris, please get in touch with me directly. It's a lot easier for him to deal with your inquiries rather than through me. John, you're not quite there yet, are you?
No, I rely on Chris for my Instagram phase. Every time I beat him, I rely on him to put at least one photo of my stuff up on Instagram, which is very, very nice of him.
So perhaps if you do have a burning question for John, you can perhaps get in touch with him via Chris. If that's
quite happy. Any budding Mechanicum players out there, or anyone who wants to call me out on the rules, please contact Chris first.
He'll filter.
And then he'll filter it, and I'll get back to you.
Good stuff. Don't forget the channel is also on Instagram as well. It's just at the 30k channel, and you'll get photos from the games. All the stories are from the games that we produce, and there's loads of other stuff that happens on during the week. I really, really enjoyed this. It was a long day, but it produced a spectacular game. So I really hope you enjoy it. I think the board, although it looked really open, I don't think it was it?
No, there was surprisingly, there was some good little nooks and crannies that I managed to hide people in, just to give me that little bit of cover while he came at me. So.
Good stuff. I really hope you liked it. And, I have also I didn't do a board build video for this battle, but if you watch the previous game or 2 games ago that had the Thunderhawk gunship with the with the landing pad. It's a very, very similar board to that, apart from the 2 tiles in the middle. So it's perhaps worth watching. Go watch that, and that's roughly how I built the board. I just swapped out the 2 tiles this morning. But anyway, enough of that. Gents, thank you so much for coming down. You've got a long drive back to Stratford, but I appreciate your effort. And we will see you in the next game.